When I was 12 years old, I played a lot of travel baseball, and we had a lot of tournaments out of town where we were staying at hotels. During one of these tournaments, I was sitting in my room just watching SportsCenter when I heard a ring on my phone. It was one of my teammates. He was asking if I wanted to spend some time with him and the other dudes just hanging out in his room. So I got up, walked down the hall, and knocked on his door. I heard some laughing coming from the other side of the door, but I didn't really think much of it. We were probably just goofing around, playing games like we normally did at these tournaments. But when he opened the door, I found something that I was not expecting. I didn't really realize what it was at the time, but this was the first time that I was exposed to the world of pornography. My first gut reaction was one that was just appalled. I left that room that evening with a pit in my stomach. I felt shameful. I knew that I wasn't supposed to be looking at those images and that if anybody found out, that would not be okay. Because I was a good Christian kid. I wasn't allowed to look at pornography. Little did I know that this one encounter sparked a curiosity that I would not be able to contain. A couple weeks later, I was searching on the family computer and I was just curious. So I typed something into the Google bar that I had never typed before. And when the images popped up, I immediately closed the window. The pit in my stomach had come back. Why had I searched that up again? I knew that it was wrong. But despite this pit in my stomach that had returned, I still kept going back. Little by little, curiosity by curiosity, I kept searching up these images. And I kept spending more and more time on sites that I knew I shouldn't have been on. And as I started to see these images more frequently, the more I craved them. And the fact of the matter was that this addiction was less of an addiction and more of being enslaved. And the worst part about it was that I couldn't tell anybody. I felt like no one related to me. I went to church and I even went to a Christian school, but the fact of the matter was that no one even talked about it. No one talked about pornography. So I felt like I couldn't bring it up to anybody because I felt like I was the only one struggling with this. When I got to high school, I met my small group leader. And my small group leader started to tell me and my small group about his addiction to pornography that he struggled with when he was our age. And this gave me hope. He had found a way out of it. I didn't tell him for another year and a half about my own struggle with pornography. I still felt ashamed. But one day I grew up the courage in order to tell him, finally. As I started to tell people more and more, I found more and more healing and more strength in order to get past this addiction that was inside of me. But it is still a struggle for me today. Because just around the corner, every time that I open my phone, every time that I open my laptop, there's a bear trap that's sitting right there. It'll just take 2 clicks for me to fall back into that. In my own struggle, what brought healing was confrontation, was just saying it flat out, that I struggled with porn, that I wasn't okay, and that I needed help. Why are we avoiding this subject today? What we need is to confront the elephant that's in the room, because that's what's gonna bring true healing, and that's when we're gonna leave our shackles behind us.